working on it. Can't find the button.
You can't turn off the music.
Take it.
This is starting perfect. Hello. I'm not there.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to Mad in the Kitchen live with me, Madeleine Smithberg, and my very, very, very special guest, Michael Fucci. He's in LA and I'm in Seattle. And tonight we have another person added to the mix, which is Marisa, who is the latest addition to the Mad in the Kitchen team. And she literally fell out of heaven into my life. What camera am I on?
This one.
Okay. And she is going to be our audience engagement officer. We gave her a title. And she's going to be reading your comments. If you want to comment, Marisa will read your comments and Michael and I will answer them. So tonight, I'm letting someone else do the driving. It's really hard for me, but I felt like it was an important step toward my realization as a human. And so tonight we're going to be making Michael Fucci, and Michael has also a YouTube channel, which is called Tiny Kitchen, Big Taste. And he's a lot further along in this YouTube world than I am. He's actually had real success with his videos, and I'm honored that he is like indulging me. But this recipe we're making tonight is called Mama Fucci's Spinach Lasagna Roll-Ups. And I made them last night, and they're ridiculously good. Where's Michael? Michael, can we hear you? I love live. It's kind of like just walking around the world in your underpants in front of thousands of people. Michael, we're not hearing you. Perfect. Okay. I think this is going perfectly.
Are we on?
There you are.
There we are.
Is this thing on? Oh my God, I just
I can hear myself 18 times.
Hilarious. So tell us a little bit about what we're making tonight, the Mama Fucci's lasagna.
Yeah, first you gotta start it off. You have to say it, a Mama Fucci.
A Mama Fucci.
Mama Fucci.
A Mama Fucci.
Yeah, this is one of her best recipes that she used to always make when I was a kid. And she's tweaked it a little bit this way and that way, and has come up with a really great combination of ingredients that I think is just perfect.
Well, I have to say, I made it last night in preparation, so I wouldn't be flying by the seat of my pants, even though I always feel like we are flying by the seat of our pants. And it is absolutely delicious. And I have to say that I think the secret weapon ingredient is nutmeg. Nutmeg. You can overdo it, but used in the right quantities with certain other ingredients, it just brings a level of, I don't know, aromatic.
It adds depth to the recipe. It's just, and it's one of those things that you don't expect it, and you're sort of like, what is that flavor? What is that flavor? And it's just, it adds just a ton to it.
It's beautiful. It's almost like if it were a perfume, the nutmeg would be the sort of over glaze of fragrance. So what are we putting into our Mama Fucci's?
Mama Fucci spinach and lasagna roll-ups. It's got a great.
I just love how Italians talk with their hands.
And if the guys in the booth can get me out of my ear, that would be awesome.
The booth.
So anyway, we've got a great combination of ingredients. We're starting with ricotta cheese. We've got mozzarella cheese. We've got Parmigiano cheese, so you know it's got to be good because it's just a bunch of cheese.
Cheese.
Spinach. That adds the health combination. That's the health.
That just makes it healthy. I'm sorry. That just makes it healthy.
It does. It does. It takes away all the fat, all the calories. It's spinach.
It's good for you.
We've got the egg in there. That's the binder. And then we've got the salt, or then we've got the pepper.
I forgot my egg.
Oh.
My signature move is I always forget something. I always forget something.
So what we've done here to sort of make it a little bit faster is pre-cooked some of the lasagna noodles. And we've made these al dente, which means to the tune.
Al dente. The al dente thing is like a huge thing for me. I feel like most of people that make pasta in America make it wrong.
I agree with you. I think it's pasta is overcooked. I actually look at whatever the brand of pasta that you're making. Look at what the time that they say you should cook it, and then actually reduce it by a minute. And that's usually what I do.
I usually reduce it by 3.
Sorry about that. I'm getting some feedback. And so
I usually reduce it by 3 and then just start testing methodically.
Oh, yeah. If you want to continue to eat throughout the meal, that's a great way to do it too. I mean, I completely support that. So we've pre-cooked our noodles there. We've also made, we can go back to the stove cam here. This is a really great basic tomato sauce. And this is just really a combination of onions, garlic, basil, dried oregano.
I have to give you some shit here, which is I lived in Italy and I have a house there, and I'm sort of considered Italiana da adottazione, which means Italian by adoption. And we don't use the dried herbs. I just
I agree. I'm in a tiny kitchen. Fresh. I have no place to grow fresh spices.
Oh, I'm so lucky. I've got all my fresh spices. I've got my basil. I've got my parsley. I have a buttload of oregano, which happened for me this year. He's touching his ear like he's having trouble.
Hey, so Michael, what our problem is, we have a live speaker for Madeleine to hear you, and so you're picking up her audio.
We'll work through it. I just wanted.
I'm trying.
Let's just power through. This is the beauty of live. Like, what people don't realize that they're watching is I have 4 cameras here. You have, 5 in your house? And we have Bruce in Chicago, who is our technical director. He's doing that from Chicago. You're in Studio City, where I used to live. And I am in Seattle. And this may look like a simple thing of cooking a nice Italian mama's recipe, but it's really kind of exciting. And we also have our audience engagement officer, Marisa.
Hello.
And she's in an undisclosed location.
She's using my Zoom backdrop because you can see she's won an Emmy and 2 Peabodys.
I've done good for 22.
She's pretty good for 22. she's one. So let's get going.
Let's do this,
Fucci. Can I call you Fucci?
So
I kind of like it.
What I've done with these noodles, just to sort of show you here, these I've sprayed them with a little nonstick cooking spray that'll keep them from sticking together, so that we can use them very, very easily. But let's get started with the filling. We've got the sauce already being made in the back. And
here's
so
my sauce. Can anybody see this? I'm going to turn it back on.
So we've got just a large mixing bowl here.
Okay, I've got one too.
Do you? Okay. I trust that you're there. There we go. I can see you.
I'm here. I'm there, Fucci.
All right. I love it. So we're just going to crack our egg into the bowl. And they always say, crack it on a flat surface. Don't crack it on the side of the bowl, because you get shells on the side of the bowl. So
oh my God, you're so prescient. I have exactly that thing just happened to me.
Did it? Were you on the side of the bowl?
I did it. I made the most common mistake ever made.
It's okay.
You're welcome. Okay, now what goes in beside the egg?
We're just going to beat the egg real quick just to get it going.
I'm using a spoon. Because I didn't read the instructions and I don't have a whisk handy.
I usually
right.
use it for
The
or
egg.
whatever.
It's fine. I'm eating the egg.
And then
I'm
next
gonna
we're gonna
eat
throw
you egg.
in the,
Bad egg.
throw in the ricotta cheese next.
I'm just putting the whole, I'm not much of a measurer. I'm a broad strokes gal. Here, watch this.
That's perfect.
It just landed at my feet. Okay, so I have the egg.
If I didn't have to clean up over here, I would do the same thing.
I know. Believe me, I'm cleaning it up. It's not like I've got a crew. I mean, I do have a crew and I'm super lucky and they're friggin' amazing. But at the same time, I do all the prep and all the cleanup, but Sam does quite a bit. Now, Sam, my husband, is on this camera over here. He's on my iPhone and he wants to be my sidekick. So Sam is my sidekick. You don't have a sidekick.
Wow.
Sidekick.
Okay, what comes next?
That's it. Okay, so we've got the mozzarella cheese that I'm just going to throw
Michael
into the cheese combination.
We lost Michael, but I'm just going with mozzarella.
No, that's right.
I'm going with
I
Parmesan.
can hear you.
I'm going with spinach.
We'll talk together.
And you're back.
And he's back.
We'll go spinach. We'll go spinach next.
I did spinach.
And it's a little too healthy. We'll go back to the cheese and do the Parmesan cheese.
Okay, I already put my parm and my mozzarella. I'm going to do a little salt, just because.
See, I don't put salt. That's just me. But
Well,
you can.
excuse me, Mr. High blood pressure.
Lead you through it. I'm telling you the right way. If you want to do it your way, that's fine too.
Well, does Mama Fucci put salt or no?
Mama Fucci doesn't put salt because she has properly salted the pasta water. So you've got the nice salty al dente noodles.
Ma vaffanculo, ouch, m'ha fatto male. Ma tu parli l'italiano?
See, I just speak menu Italian, so I have no clue what you said. You probably insulted me, and that's okay.
No, I did not. I would never insult you. I have nothing but respect for you and your family. I just put a lot of nutmeg in there. And
No,
I did
think
put
you can.
pepper. I put some Zanzibar black peppercorns
To Sam.
I put
from
the Walmart
Burlap and
Finest
Barrel.
Street ground pepper.
If you don't know about Burlap and Barrel spices, Michael, you should learn about them, burlapandbarrel.com. They're these amazing guys that go around the world and they source single spices, and they're just like, you feel clean just using them, but their flavors are amazing. And I'll send you the link, but it's also on my
No,
website.
that's great. Are they out of Seattle?
All right, now I'm stirring this, right?
Yeah, we're
What
just going to go ahead and stir it together.
I hear something burning. It's my sauce. Okay, we're going to turn that off. I really liked the sauce, except I used all fresh herbs. All right, now I'm stirring this around.
If I had the opportunity to use the fresh herbs, I would do it. Here in Los Angeles, if I throw the spices out on the patio, like 2 days later, they're black. So,
I know.
so
I just have, I'm very lucky because my sage went crazy this year, and here in Seattle we have rosemary that grows as a hedge.
Oh, the wild rosemary, that's great.
Yeah, it's
My
just
aunt and uncle,
amazing.
they lived
It
up in
never
Santa
here. I'll
Barbara.
show you.
Santa Barbara. And they had rosemary bushes everywhere.
This is what I picked. I'm risking disaster, but this is just a little bouquet of rosemary from my garden today. Although there is no rosemary in this particular recipe, but I planted oregano and it's done so well, and I keep making chimichurri because of it. But that's for another
the thing
episode.
about oregano, have you ever put fresh oregano in a salad?
It's delicious.
It's fantastic. It's one of those things too that people are eating the salad like, what is this? It's amazing.
It's really, first of all, I was turned off to oregano because I grew up in New York City, and every pizza parlor in New York City, which does have the best pizza. Sorry, Bruce. But New York City has the best pizza in America. And there are dried oregano shakers at every pizza parlor. And that's what I thought oregano could taste like. And then when I grew it
It's completely
and
different.
tasted the fresh oregano, I was like, I've never had oregano before. I've only had that crap in.
It's fantastic. So once this is thoroughly combined here, we just want to make sure it's all together. I'm going to spray our little baking dish here with some non-stick cooking spray. And then the fun begins. Oh, that looks good. It looks perfect. All right, so you're making a big batch. This is good. And so we'll just take a noodle. And then I usually put, the way I measured it out, or the recipe you'll see online, it's about 8 noodles that you'll be able to stuff with about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of the filling. And then we'll just go ahead and spread it on the noodle. Sometimes it's just good to get in there with your hands. This is how a Mama Fucci would make it. And we did wash our hands before. And then we just start rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And we'll place it right in our dish. You want to make sure that you're going to put it seam side down. That way it won't unroll while it cooks. How are you doing over there, Madeleine? Fantastic. All right, so this is a great recipe to make with kids. If you've got kids, put them to work, make them start rolling. It's fun for them to do, very easy to make.
Madeline, you're back.
You don't have to worry about kids.
When I was making this was, why haven't I done this before with every single varietal of lasagna that I've ever made? When I was, my son is Harry, and now he's 23, but I still treat him like he's 5, so don't judge. But he fell in love with lasagna, so I taught myself how to make lasagna. And now I'm thinking I should have taught myself this. And we posted this recipe on the social media.
We should check in with Marissa.
Oh, we should check in with Marissa, but 1 second, let me finish my thought. We posted this recipe, and the producer that I'm working with, I'm going to be on the Today Show on November 3rd, which you might know is also Election Day. So I have 2 things to be incredibly stressed out about. But she sent me an email today, and she said, "Can you make this?" And I was like, "Well, it's Mama Fucci." So I have to get the blessing of Mama Fucci, and then I told her I won't be able to do it.
Well, Mama Fucci is watching. So
Ciao Mama Fucci, come stai? Bella Mama Fucci.
Bene, tutto bene.
Tutto bene. So where in Italy is your family from?
So I've got, my grandmother was from Sicily, and my grandfather's family's Naples.
Fabulous.
So,
and I bet you grew up with a lot of food in your life.
Yeah, it was a lot of food and a lot of talking about food. Like
I
at breakfast, we'd be talking about what was for lunch, and for lunch, we'd be talking about what's for dinner.
think that's the same in my family, but we weren't as good cooks because my parents bought a house in Italy in 1984 and became sort of Italian by choice. And but it's the same thing. We would be eating one meal and talking about the next meal. And there's this obsession. I feel like the connection between Italians and food is only rivaled by the connection between Jews and food, which is my father's family. But my family would kill me. I will take the Italian food. I love the Jewish food. I love chopped liver. I love, kasha varnashkas, all that stuff. But there's nothing like Italian food. And I lived in Italy. I lived with a family. I'm getting more noodles. And my mama, when I was an art history major studying abroad in Siena in 1980, would wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and start making the sauce for lunch every single day.
I love
And
that. It's
I
just
don't
everything revolves around food.
It does. And I don't think you can really be depressed when you're eating this well.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
it's like nature's or sort of a cultural antidepressant. It just makes you so happy and it's so delicious. And it's just, I kind of wish I had grown up Italian, but I was able to come to it later in life and just completely embrace it.
Yeah, it's one of those places that wherever you go food-wise, you're going to get something and find something on the menu that you love.
It's amazing. I have a house. My parents had this house in Tuscany. And if you ever want to go there, let me know. Okay, so I've got these beautiful rolls.
Yes.
And now what do I want to do to them?
Well, we're going to pour some sauce on it. You could actually throw some sauce in the pan before if you wanted to.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. Hold on. I'm grabbing my sauce. I made the sauce last night. And as I said, omitted. Oh, I can't do it because I've already put my rolls in the pan.
Yeah, I messed up too.
But that's all right.
It's all right.
The sauce is really beautiful. It's really just an onion, garlic. I put red pepper. I put a little pancetta in there, Fucci.
Nice.
And I'm just going to drizzle it across the top.
With the spinach, so
I thought it would go delicious.
Okay, guess what's happening? We've got people.
Marisa, do we have any social engagement?
Yes, we do. We have people that have family living in Italy, a lot of people. We got people from New York, Oregon, Marysville, all around. So,
really? What are they saying?
So we have a
Beauty
question. Yes, we have a question from Barbara. She's wondering if you can reheat this dish.
Oh,
and it'll still taste good.
absolutely. Hi, Barbara. I made it last night and reheated it today so I would have a finished product because I didn't want you guys to have to sit here for 45 minutes while it baked. And it is just ridiculously beautiful. This is something you can totally make ahead.
Oh, Barbara,
yeah, you can also freeze it. One thing I like to do is actually you cook it without the sauce, and then you can just individually package up 1 or 2 rolls that then you might freeze, and then you pull it out for dinner after work or something like that and top it with your favorite sauce.
This is by far the most amazing recipe, I think, that of somebody else's that I've tried. Anything else, audience engagement officer? May I salute you?
Barbara has another question. She's wondering if you can use meat instead of spinach.
If you can use what?
Meat.
Of course.
Sure, you could do meat. You can do a meat sauce.
I highly encourage the use of meat in this recipe. You can use pepperoni, sausage, maybe some ground beef. It'll all work great.
And the other thing is some people were saying that they didn't eat cheese. This is messages I got before. And I was thinking you could do a white bean puree or a cauliflower puree or a broccoli puree. There's lots of things you can do if you don't want to eat cheese. You can use that fake horrible cheese. But if that's what you need to do, go ahead and do it. I'm going to put mine in the oven. Are you?
I am too.
All right, we're doing the same thing.
Bake this at 375 for about 45 minutes.
So we got another question from Peg, wondering if you should put a little bit of sauce on the pan before you put the rolls so they don't stick.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Peggy.
Yes.
This is Sam's friend. You totally should. We both forgot. But we have a lot of moving balls right now.
I was too eager to have the finished product that I forgot.
Look at how beautiful the sauce is. I don't know where I'm going.
Oh my gosh, looks delicious.
It's really good. Like I would freeze a bunch of this. And because I don't own a submersion blender, which he suggested using, I just bought the pureed tomatoes. And so I kind of sidestepped that deficiency in my arsenal.
No, that's great. You can do that. I use the pre-diced, petite diced tomatoes. They work great.
I love the new packaging of the pommy. They're so awesome because you don't have to risk, as I always say, slitting my wrists as I open them. You just cut it with a scissor. It's a great new advancement in packaging of food technology. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
It's so good. All right, so let me see what's happening in my oven. What's happening in your oven?
Well, it's amazing. Mine's already cooked.
That's a miracle. I'm going to turn mine up a little bit. All right, I would say mine needs a couple more minutes. This is what I would like to talk to you about.
Then I'll give you a couple more minutes.
I just think let's let it bake so it'll look pretty amazing. Yeah. I want to talk about, first of all, we talked a little bit about Mama Fucci, but you really grew up in a world that was dominated by food. Tell me a little about that.
Yeah, so my grandparents, they used to always come visit us in Houston. My dad worked in the space program, so we were down there, and my grandfather loved to fish and crab, and so he would come down and he'd take me out fishing and crabbing and stuff. And then we'd have fresh fish, flounder, or we'd cook up some crabs. And he would always make some great pasta. He would make homemade Italian sausage. I remember making gnocchi with him a couple of times. And
it gets in your blood, right? Like when you have it.
I'm 5 years old at this point, and I'm making little gnocchi with my grandfather. One of the best memories.
I'm so jealous. I was. What was I doing? No, I was having gefilte fish and chopped liver in the Bronx with my grandparents. It was great. My grandma was an amazing
Well, we also had the liver and onions night, and that was never my favorite.
No, kids don't love that. Kids do not love that. And my parents would try to force it upon us. And I really liked the onions. And if I put enough ketchup on it, I could make it through. But I just thought it tasted a little too much like poop. But now as an adult, I love
it. It was a gag reflex for me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's as close to fecal matter as you want to get in terms of an ingestible.
Well, it's funny. I was actually sort of debating whether I go with the liver and onions or the roll-ups today. So.
You were not. Liver and onions is never a crowd pleaser. So wait, I just want to talk to you really quickly. Like, people always say it's not rocket science, but your dad is actually a rocket scientist. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I don't know that I appreciated it growing up.
Like liver.
I was born in California. We moved to Houston. And I just remember different instances meeting some of the astronauts. Like one time we were at the annual chili cook-off. And my dad handed me a beer as an 11-year-old. Of course, you can hand your son a beer. I'm like, hey, this is great. It's like, no. Give it to that guy right over there. And so I ran up to this guy. I was like, Mr. Shepherd, here's a beer for my dad.
Oh, my honest guy.
It was just, it's kind of cool looking back at that and looking at some of the great pictures that we had of my mom and my sister Barbara and me at the chili cook-offs. And it was just a real celebration. We ended up getting a chance to go back to, I forget which anniversary of landing on the moon, but we were with all the astronauts that were still alive at that time, and Gene Kranz, who was the flight director, and he was talking about sort of the process of them putting somebody on the moon. And he's like, we had nobody from these Ivy League schools. Everybody, I think he said the average age was like 27 in mission control. And they were just a whole bunch of engineers that just all work together to get somebody on the moon. It's a pretty cool story to hear.
That's amazing. If you grow up around that and gnocchi, like, you've got a head start in life. But don't you have some moon rocks? I feel like the Jeopardy interview. Tell us about the moon rocks.
Maybe we may not. I don't know.
Should we check our pasta? He's got some moon rocks. I'll tell you that.
Okay, so
Or something brown that was in his parents' basement.
it's liver and onions. I think it's liver and onions from 1942.
And here, all this time, we thought it was moon rocks. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going in. Something just fell, but I'm hoping.
Now, does yours have cheese on it automatically? I'm looking at mine, and it already has cheese on it.
I know, that's kind of a miracle. We both made finished products because we didn't want you guys to have to sit here for 45 minutes. Here's mine. Sam's going to go get a shot. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I have a little pretty fresh basil on it.
Does this look any better? There we go.
Yours looks better because my cheese has been on for too long. But I'm going to actually turn my other one on that I'm making because I'm going to feed the kids.
And I'm going to go from oven number 1 to oven number 2.
You have 2 ovens in your tiny kitchen.
I do. I have the one that was built in that's just horrible. It takes like 2 hours to warm up. And then I have this Rebel one that I just love. It's a perfect size and it cooks fantastic.
That's pretty amazing. So wait, let's talk a second about Tiny Kitchen Big Taste.
Good. And I want to talk about Man in the Kitchen too.
Oh, okay. You go first.
Yeah. How did you get started? First of all, because you're in a completely
so my
different.
story. Who am I looking at there, Gleason? My story is kind of wild. I spent 30 years, 3 decades in late night comedy. For those of you who don't know, I'm not bragging. I just actually was the co-creator and original executive producer of The Daily Show. I worked for David Letterman. I had my own company for years and produced comedy for 1 million people, but I never wanted to go on camera. And when I moved here to Seattle 3 years ago to be with Sam, camera 1, I pivoted and I was about to turn 60 and I started working I've always had a passion for food. My parents took me to Europe. Where am I going, Sky? My parents took me to Europe.
So many buttons.
So it took me to Europe in 1972 and I put things in my mouth that just made opera music play in my head. And I thought something amazing is going on here. So I was always obsessed with food and I produced all the cooking segments for Late Night with David Letterman in the late 80s. And, but it was always just sort of a hobby that was in the background. And when I moved here to Seattle to be with Sam, who's now my husband, love of my life, dumped me, found me on Facebook. 34 years later, we got married. So it's kind of a crazy story.
It's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Pretty much. And he gave me a cooking class and I took the cooking class and I got recruited to be a chef. Wait, where's my... There we go.
That's the other arm. It's the other arm.
And it's your left arm.
It's this arm.
No, it's the other arm. There it is.
There it is.
Right into that.
I'm Chef Madeleine. And I started cooking, being a chef, doing corporate team building events. This is like so crazy with the reflection. I'm like fixing my hair and I'm doing the wrong side.
You're
But
not used to this side of the camera.
I'm not used to this side of the camera at all. But anyway, I've always produced for others. I become a chef. Where am I, Sky? I become a chef and I'm teaching corporate team building events. And then Sam and I are getting married. And then the friggin' pandemic happens and the place I'm teaching closes and our wedding gets canceled. But we run to City Hall and I sit on the couch in the fetal position for about 3 weeks, just, not showering and crying. And then one day, I don't know how, I wake up from a stupor and I hand Sam my phone and I go, I'm going to make some pasta. You shoot it. We're going to put it on YouTube. And suddenly I have a YouTube channel. And from the time that I launched it, it's just continued to grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's amazing.
I love your recipes.
On the Today Show on November 3rd, which is also election day. So there's a lot to be nervous about. And they just contacted me today. And you know what they want me to make? Mama Fucci's Spinach Lasagna Roll-Ups.
Mama Fucci comes through in a pinch.
Mama Fucci is going to be on the Today Show on November 3rd at 10 a.m. And
I love it.
So tell me, but your channel is actually a real success.
Well, I wanted to talk real quick about one more thing with you.
Okay.
Because you were saying you were setting up some of the background stuff for all the food segments on Letterman.
Yes.
So you probably became very good at setting up the kitchen. Did you learn to cook much from that? Or?
Oh my God. It was like private cooking lessons with Julia Child, Paul Prudhomme, Pierre Frenet, David Boulay, Danielle Boulou. But Julia was the most special. And I would produce the segments. So backstage before rehearsal, I would essentially have private cooking lessons from the top chefs of the world, including also Graham Kerr, the Galloping Gourmet. It was amazing. And I learned so much, and I learned how to produce a cooking segment. So the ultimate irony is that now I'm producing myself. Beginning, middle, and end, Michael. Beginning, middle, and end. Aristotle was very big into cooking demos.
Yeah. I said, yeah, I don't know that, but I trust him.
No, he was the big beginning, middle, end. Hey, audience engagement officer, anything we should know about?
Hello.
Hi, Marisa.
We have someone asking if someone likes a little bit more of a kick, what would be a good spice to add?
Oh, I would say red pepper. And I actually put a bunch of red pepper into my sauce. That is one dried. Oh my God, I'm losing my mic. That is one dried. Madonna doesn't have these problems, but she doesn't have my ears. I gave it a kick. I gave a pretty sort of active dose, and I like the Burlachman Barrel Silk Chili, but just your regular sort of red pepper flakes do just fine. And I believe they should go in the base of every sauce, almost before you even put in your garlic and onions.
Yeah, you can actually toast those right in the oil. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's what I do. I throw them right in the oil.
And then also, sometimes in a sauce, I'll add serrano chili peppers. If you want
so good.
Yeah,
I love the combination of heat and the flavor of the tomatoes, and then the cheese softens it out. It's all just a gigantic symphony of flavors, and all we're doing is kind of being the conductors and balancing it all out. Anything else, Maria? Does anyone else have any questions for us?
Beauty Bubble is eager to see how you guys are going to plate the dish.
Oh, well, that's an excellent question. We're about to plate it right now. Beauty Bubble. Yeah, I don't think mine looks as good as it could.
So I'm going to put some sauce on the plate first.
Oh, that's a great idea. Where did I put my sauce? Here it is. So I'm going around and around and around in a circle, and I'm making a nice bed for my pasta.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah, that is bed. It's the technical term. Mine looks terrible. I wish that the timing had worked out more for me to be able to melt my cheese better. But the good news is it's gonna taste delicious. Get out of here.
Is finding where they separate.
That is true. I'm playing with that right now.
I'm just gonna scoop one out.
Come on, little babies. Like, this is really lasagna, but with a twist. Like, literally a twist to it. Okay. So I've done that. I'm going to put a little sauce on top just because. And then I'm taking a little fresh parsley.
That's good.
And I'm just going to cut it with my, what are they called? Scissors! I give stupid names to all my cooking tools because they're my friends. I have a very sad and lonely life. I'm joking. I have a wonderful and rich life. I've never been so happy. This is like the most fun I've ever had.
Just drizzle a little olive oil on top. Is that wrong?
That sounds like a good idea. I'm going to wipe this up a little bit. I've just made a mess. Hold on. Where's my olive oil? I definitely have that.
Basil right there. No.
I definitely have a little basil too. I'm going to put a little basil just because you cannot have enough green is my feeling.
Where am I going? There
Unless we're talking about like algae or fungi. And I'm going to grab a little olive oil if I can find it.
When was the last time you were in Italy?
Oh, that is such a sad question. I can't find my olive oil. How pathetic is that? Anybody? Olive oil? The last time I was in Italy was probably about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And you know, I have this house there, and you can go to it at any time. I'm spraying the olive
I've
oil.
already booked my flight. You realize that?
No, you should.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
My house is it's 21 kilometers southwest of Siena, in a tiny village that is like 600 years old, and it
If you
is.
translate kilometers to miles. How far is that?
So it's about like 15 miles from Siena, like 20 minutes. And Siena is where I studied and where I lived with the family. And when I left in 1980, I was crying because I thought I would never be back. And then this house just landed on my parents, not like the witch, but it was just sort of like one of those things that was meant to be. And so it happened. I don't think mine looks that great, but I'm going to put a little.
I see what you're doing.
There we go. There we go.
See, now I got to step it up because you're doing some fancy stuff with the basil or with the parsley.
I've got the basil, the parsley. I'm putting some parm.
Skip and add some basil. How about that?
Let me see.
So we just take the little basil leaves and roll them
Raw
up.
these ingredients. Oh, I have an idea.
All right. And we've got these things called little rags.
I know we got to wiping them off. That was what I learned when I became a chef.
What's that?
That you wipe off the plate. Nothing I'd ever known about.
There we go. It looks like the Italian flag.
La bandiera. Here, I'm putting a couple of fresh tomatoes on the side.
You gotta see what you're doing. I'm kind of jealous.
And I'm going to put, just because I'm that person.
I'm gonna throw ice cream on mine.
Just to, yeah. Mine has gold on it.
You're keeping
Anybody
building
that
yours.
eats
It looks,
mine
it looks
free gold.
fantastic.
All right, so I'm just taking a little bit of this beautiful bufala mozzarella that I
Oh.
bought at this little store that I love near my house called Costco.
I've heard of that. It's Italian, right? Costco.
Costco!
It's a Costco. It's got that beautiful buffalo mozzarella.
They have like great stuff though. I've been getting this. This is a buffalo mozzarella that I just love, and they have chanterelle mushrooms, which I've been cooking a lot with. As Sam will attest. Hi, Sam. I'm walking over here to the garbage. You got to move, Sam. Sorry.
Your fridge is open.
My fridge is open. Thank you for telling me. I really want my olive oil, but I just can't find it. I got it. It's a miracle. It's a Halloween miracle.
A miracle.
I'm going to do a little do. Look at that. Come on.
That is fantastic.
I think Mama Fucci would be proud of me.
Fucci would be proud.
And I'm forever in her debt. All right, so this is my finished product.
Let me see. Ooh.
Marisa. Oh, Sam, we're going to take a still at some point. This is great, Michael. I can't wait. I'm going to taste it. Are you going to take a bite?
Yes, of course. That's the best part.
We're going to get a picture so we can put it on my thumbnail.
There it is. I'm diving in while you're having your little food photo shoot over there.
My food photo shoot. I'm going in. I'm getting these
like I need to
utensils
photograph
called a
mine.
knife and a fork, and I'm going in. So this has been super fun. I want to thank Bruce. Bruce has been helping us. He's in Chicago, and Bruce is our sort of, let's say, technical director, our TD. And Bruce's company is Blue Sky Video Productions at BSV PTV. And Bruce does exactly what we're doing, which is helps people to do this. We have, how many cameras do you have, Michael?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I have 1, 2, 3, and Marisa. So we have 4 here as well. And we're live on this thing called StreamYard. And this may look super simple, but it's actually amazingly complicated. And it's a real live show. And I've had so much fun tonight. So Bruce, you're the man. Did you cook along tonight, Bruce? No, you didn't.
Well, actually, I cooked early because I knew this was going to be
Emily Freeze says this was totally just. Wait, let me take my bite. I got to take my bite.
Oh, that means I can eat again too.
Yeah, let's go in. 1, 2, 3, blow. I always blow because one time I burnt my mouth so bad.
That's good. Success.
Oh my God.
It is good.
Whoa! That is so good. That is really, 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 really good. Oh my God. Everyone in my end here is so jealous of me right now.
Thank you for talking to me, audience. I love you all.
Thanks, Marisa. This is great.
Thank you,
How much
Marisa.
fun did we have?
Oh my God, everyone in the comments loved it.
Yum, that is so delicious.
I'm jealous.
You're coming in and getting some.
I know.
I got plates for my crew. I mean, Sam and Sky and Marisa. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michael Fucci. TinyKitchen.com. I'm Madeleine Smithberg. MadInTheKitchen.com. I need you to do one thing that's very important. I need you to go to my website, MadInTheKitchen.com. And then I need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need you to watch and like my videos, but I really need the subscribers. Help me make my dream a reality. I want a show. The show is Mad in the Kitchen. I think I already have it. Anyway, Michael, thank you.
Click that bell. Click that little bell so they get reminded.
Yeah, hit the bell and then you'll get alerted every time that I post a new video. Rick, thank you. Thank you, Emily Freed. Emily is like my baby sister, and I love that she's watching. I've known her since before she was born. Oh my God. Thank you, and everybody. Buona notte.
Buona notte.
Ciao, buona notte. Thank
Bye.
you. That was great. That was fun. Can I take my mic off yet?
We are still live. We need some ending music, right? Right, Shy? Right, Sky?
That is so good. I'm so sorry, Bruce, that you can't taste this.
And
It is really delicious.